Wendy, your dad is turning 94 in February, and he's up there in age, and I know you want to go to Miami to see him and celebrate his birthday because you don't know how many more there are going to be.
Right, exactly.
That must be important for you.
It's extremely important. It's extremely important to see my dad for his birthday, you know, and that is a family thing. It's not just a me thing, you know. I would wish that along with celebrating my dad's 94th birthday, that we as a family would come together in peace and harmony. That's what I wish for my dad.
All right, that's the interview that TMZ recently did with Wendy. So Wendy was granted a furlough to go spend time with her dad for his 94th birthday. And the reason why I'm calling it a furlough, because as you see, Wendy Williams is in a luxury prison, that she calls it. She is interviewing TMZ through her window of her prison apartment, while she's on the phone with the guy from TMZ. Yeah, I mean, she really is in prison. So she's basically saying that they granted her a furlough to go see her father for his 94th birthday and spend time with him. Yo, she really is in prison. That's crazy. I never seen nothing like that. It's like you go into prison and you visiting someone and you talking to them through the glass. That's basically what this is. Now, my take on it is the reason why they got Wendy locked up in this conservative shit is because she refused to take that jab. That time when she was on Dr. Oz and she said she didn't trust it. I'm thinking it stemmed from that because right after she said that on national TV, um, everything was stripped from her. Her TV show, her money was taken, and she was put into this conservative shit. This is crazy. So Wendy Williams, I guess she's still, battling in that. I guess they raising money from a GoFundMe. They're trying to raise money for lawyer fees to basically so she could fight this conservative shit. And me, I don't understand why this 60-something-year-old woman is locked in a conservative ship at her age when she has family members. She has actually a son. I mean, sister, brother. This is like nuts. So I don't even think this is a conservative ship. I think they really holding Wendy hostage as a prisoner because they don't want her to talk. And she was going to start a podcast. Remember, y'all remember when Wendy was going to start that podcast? I think her page is actually still on Instagram. She was going to start that podcast, and Wendy was going to start talking. You know what I'm saying? Wendy was going to start spilling it all because, she don't really hold things in like that. So right before she was ready to launch that podcast, she was locked into this conservative ship. I mean, she said she had interviews lined up already. She had interviews done, and she had interviews lined up. You know what I'm saying? And I think Wendy was ready to start to get down to business and start spilling a lot of things. All right. Yeah, let me pull this up real quick, yo. It right here. Yeah. Yeah, it's the Wendy Experience podcast. She was about to launch the podcast where she didn't had, people lined up to interview.
How do you feel about that now? Being the center of so much gossip and rumor and innuendo.
Gorgeous, sexy, and fabulous. Thank you.
You like being the center of attention and having people wonder.
I demand. 6 years old. That's all I wanted. The center of attention. 6 years old.
Well, you got it.
Of course. And I always will.
Everybody.
Yep, she was going to launch that podcast, man. She had everything lined up. do
From
this
6 years
podcast.
old, all I wanted was to be famous.
Showtime. There's only one Wendy Williams.
The boss is walking, everybody.
Nobody can do it like Wendy. No one.
People love Wendy.
You are a star to all of us.
She was in her living room every single day for 12 years.
Yep, I guess that'll do.
And that's what people responded to, her authenticity. And then at the peak of her career, she was gone.
Are we ready?
Yeah, waiting on you.
All right. And away we go.
Love you, Wendy.
All I know is how to be famous. I really want to be back on television.
You're gonna be back on TV. That's easy.
My mom has done a
Yeah,
great
that all
job
lined
making
up.
it seem like everything is okay always.
Wendy, make sure you look here. 1, 2, 3.
But in reality, there's something wrong going on.
Did you see a
She had it all lined up. Wendy Williams had this podcast all lined up to launch. And I mean, they stripped her from her TV show, they stripped her from her money. So only thing she could bank on was her name. So being as though she's already somebody in the community, all she got to do is launch a podcast, start talking, and then instantly get right back in the game. They offering $hundreds of millions for her podcast. Because she easily would have took over the podcast world. I mean, that's Wendy Williams. Come on now. So somebody didn't want her to have that. They didn't want her to have that. You know what I'm saying? Especially she would have been independent as well, so she could talk a little bit more. They don't really have too much control over what she could say because she's independent. So my thing is, they didn't want Wendy Williams talking, man. They shut her up, and and that's what she's trying to. And I think she still was planning to talk, even trying to get away from this conservative shit. She's still going, you know what I mean? She's still going to talk. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. Let me switch to this because I seen Lunell did an interview with TMZ telling them that she talked to Wendy Williams on the phone after Lunell was claiming that it was AI. She didn't believe that the interview she was doing with the Breakfast Club and all that she thought it was AI. So let's get into this.
The day I talked to you, we had talked about Wendy Williams.
Yes.
Ever since then, there's been a lot of movement happening. Things are developing. People are speaking out. People are having opinions and feelings about, her current state.
Well, I think the laws should be changed for sure. I think that this is like an incarceration. Luckily for me, God bless me, and I talked to Wendy today.
You talked to Wendy today?
I talked to Wendy today.
How did she sound?
First of all, shout out to Jason Lee as he hooked us up. She can't really call anybody, so it has to be on a 3-way. So he patched me in with her. She sounded like the old Wendy. She sounded fine. She sounded great. Clearly, she's clean and sober, which is a wonderful thing for everybody and her health. She's anxious to get back out there. I told her there's a whole movement out here going on, trying to, hashtag free Wendy. She saw the clip of when I spoke about Wendy the other day at the airport. She saw it, and she was very happy. And so that is why I'm free to now speak and say that I spoke to Wendy. She sounds fine.
She sounds good. That's beautiful to hear. And Harvey said the same thing. Like he had spoken to her. Charlamagne said the same thing. Yeah. You were saying the same thing.
Yes. Wendy sounds fine. She's ready to get back out and smell the roses. She wants to flirt, and she definitely wants to flirt.
What did she say? Tell me more about that.
She wants to date her ass off, is what she said. And I'm with you, me too. So, yeah, she wants to get back out. And, look at the men she's been seeing. She don't even have no eye candy. The old people that are decrepit up in this place where she's at or whatever they are, but they're not hot guys. And she's grown and she still wants to see some men, and I'm with it, Wendy.
Any message to the senator and to the lawyers that are trying
Please reform this law. Please don't separate people from their family unless their family looks like they're a detriment, which Britney's were. And just if there's family members that have cleared the background check and they want to take care of their family member, you should not be able to keep them from talking to their family member, their children and stuff like that. And the money, get somebody to control the money, not the conservator who got no interest in taking care of them. They're trying to get the bag. And she wants to come to Vegas to my residency at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club and come on stage with me. I said, Wendy, I would be blowed if we could make that happen. The people would go nuts and be glad for everybody to see her back.
And lock this woman up. All right, let's get into some more of this.
Wendy Williams and her communications with her friends. This is what it's come down to. We've been telling you that she is in this memory care facility, which she refers to as a luxury prison, that she has not left in how long?
She's been at this place in New York for 7 months, but before that, she was in Connecticut and a facility there. So this has been going on for.
Her friends can't contact her.
She can only call out.
So we played a video earlier this week of one of Wendy's friends
on TMZ Live.
We played it here. Lunell was very upset about what she'd seen and heard was going on with Wendy, and said some very pointed things about the legal guardians overseeing Wendy. Well, turns out Wendy saw that. We got Lunell at LAX. When we got her, she was on her way to New York. We got her now back at LAX, and there's an update as far as her and Wendy.
I think that this is like an incarceration. Luckily for me, God bless me, and I talked to Wendy today.
You talked to Wendy today?
I talked to Wendy today.
How did she sound?
She sounded like the old Wendy. She sounded fine. She sounded great. Clearly she's clean.
All right, we ain't got to play that again. But yeah, they definitely.
Hey everybody, it's Harvey Levin from TMZ. I just spent an hour and a half on the phone with Wendy Williams. And I can tell you that the Wendy Williams I spoke to today is the same Wendy Williams that I knew 10 years ago. There was no difference. She was lucid, she was articulate, she was with it, and she was opinionated. I'm not going to get into the specifics because it was an off-the-record conversation, but she wants me to give my evaluation of what I heard. Charlemagne the God was on the phone call as well, and my impressions were precisely what Charlemagne has already said, that Wendy Williams seemed like she could have done her radio show today. There was no lapse in her judgment. There was no hesitation in what she was saying. And I'm not a doctor, but I am alarmed that Wendy Williams has had her freedom taken away from her. And I don't understand exactly why.
He said why when she announced that on Dr. Oz that she wasn't taking that thing during a time where all the celebrities was promoting it. You see how they came after Nicki Minaj just for posting a little something about her cousin testicles swelling up after taking it. They was ready to cancel her and take everything from her. Wendy went on Dr. Oz and said what she said, and then maybe a few weeks, maybe a month later, a couple months later, I don't remember, but we know she started losing her talk show and took everything from her. They even took over the social medias and what they replaced it with Sherry Shepherd's show. They didn't change the whole Instagram. They took the YouTube down and revamped it and made it to Sherry Shepherd. They did the most with that. So yeah, that's why, bro. That's my take on why. I don't know what y'all think. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think. Could that be it, or was it something else? Y'all let me know in the comments below. Let's continue.
Wendy doesn't have access to a cell phone in the sense that people cannot call her. If a call is made, it has to be from her out. She doesn't have a laptop. She can't come and go, according to her. And that makes sense because we really haven't seen her out with the exception of her son's graduation. And
I have a strong opinion about what may have happened here, because Wendy has struggled over the years with some substance abuse, and especially after her divorce. And it's pretty clear from the recent documentary where you see a vodka bottle next to her that Wendy was off the wagon. And Wendy is a substance abuser, but she was clearly clean. When I spoke with her, I know Charlemagne has talked to her numerous times, or at least several times in the past, and he had the same impression. And aside from the various pills that they are giving her there, whatever it is, she seems fine. And when the people in this guardianship she's under say that she is permanently disabled and essentially non-functional, I heard the opposite. I heard somebody who seemed with it, competent. It wasn't even close to the line. It wasn't even close to the line. There is something that needs to be addressed here. The file for this guardianship is sealed in New York. We can't see it. I know they say she has frontal temporal dementia, and she may or may not. But whatever it is, it doesn't seem it's advanced enough, at least from my ear. And I admit I am not a doctor, but I can listen to people, and especially in an hour and a half phone call, I didn't hear an iota of that, of any permanent disability or somebody who was unable to function. So it seems to me that this needs to be addressed. Why is it that Wendy is under such tight wraps in this guardianship? Why is it, even if she were disabled, that people can't call her? Why is it that she doesn't have the ability to communicate the way most people do, with emails and texts and cell phones and all? Why is it that she is in this home where there are a lot of people who are 90 years old and others, and she, was describing the house itself, and she wasn't saying it was in deplorable condition. She was saying that it is a really depressing environment, and she doesn't quite understand why she's there. So I think that somebody needs to come forward and explain, why is Wendy Williams in this kind of guardianship where her freedom has been taken away when she seems fine? And maybe let her out with a sober coach 24/7. And if that would solve any issue she has, at least for now, give her her freedom back. And if she does indeed have this form of dementia, and it does become a permanent condition where she is profoundly disabled, then reestablish a guardianship. But I have to tell you, it wasn't even close when I heard her talk to me for an hour and a half.
There you go. That's Harvey from TMZ saying he talked to Wendy. And just by having an hour conversation, he was able to make an assessment. That woman ain't suffering from no dementia. Man, right now, there's some very powerful people that got Wendy hemmed up, that's pulling the strings. A lot of these people be organizations that be keeping these celebrities at bay. It be lawyers, judges, law enforcement, federal agents, doctors. They all be a part of this whole thing of keeping these certain celebrities at bay. And that's my take on it. I mean, we heard Randy Quaid refer to them as star whackers. And a lot of them, these people be, extorting these celebrities too. I mean, they took all her money away. She can't even buy a bubble gum or nothing on her own. She can't do nothing. Man, y'all comment below what y'all think of this, man. They got the hashtag going free Wendy Williams. Y'all could drop that in the comments as well. Make sure y'all like this video and share it with other people. You know what I mean? And catch y'all on the next one, man. And on that note, make sure y'all hit us up, shop at nightanddaynetwork.com. We got 15% off using Indie Herbals 2025. The links will be in the description of this video. Make sure y'all shop with us. We sell nothing but herbal products. You know what I mean? Organic, naturally herbal products for hair, skin, detox, and CBD. So head over there and shop with us. All right.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightanddayrherbals.com.